It. This is Tony Novak here to share a few points on how to stay out of tax trouble. Let's jump right in. Today's topic is capping maximum representation costs. So, in this today, we're talking about when you uh, find yourself in tax trouble, recognize that you need professional help, and go out to a tax professional. It's often a CPA or an EA. Sometimes, occasionally, if there's criminal risk, it could be a tax attorney. But in any event, the point is that we want to approach this logically and make sure that the representation turns out to be a good deal financially for you. So, and let me step back and explain. So, my background or my bias is that my first position in accounting was actually working for a law firm in Philadelphia years ago. And uh, law firms typically work on a percentage of recovery basis. And that's not so common with CPAs and EAs, but still the concept carries through, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So the fee for representation is always set by agreement by you and your representative. You should not agree to, and your representative should not propose an agreement where the cost is more than you are likely to save or gain through this endeavor. So we never know for sure what is going to be the outcome, but we certainly uh, uh, can have a good idea, a good estimate. And then, second, we can modify that agreement and those fees as things go along to accommodate for more information as we learn it. But getting back to that law firm thing, I have in my mind, my own practice is that the cost of representation should not exceed 40% of the amount that is likely to be saved or recovered. And that's pretty easy to do when the amount of tax is large. It's harder to do when the amount of tax in dispute is smaller. So, what can we do about that? We can design the representation agreement, break it down into pieces. That's a logical thing to do. First, we'll do step one. First, we'll set a dollar amount just to analyze and go over the options and make recommendation. And step two is an additional amount with an expectation of achieving a certain result. And if that's not achieved, then we might move on to step three, which might involve tax court or something more substantial. So the point is, the way to cap maximum representation costs is to devise a plan for a reasonable outcome, make sure that you, the taxpayer, are getting the better end of the deal, and then third, if necessary, break it down into pieces so we can add more information as we go along. Thanks for joining us here today. If you have a suggestion for a future topic, have a question you'd like me to address, I'd love to get the feedback using the message app. Join me here tomorrow for another Daily Tax Minute.